In today's case study, I'll be looking at affiliate offers and a very specific way of doing affiliate offers, which is to use LeadsHook to create a decision tree and then redirect people out without capturing their emails. So that has been a common request for us, so I'm going to be making that type of a decision tree today. Right, so I wanted to grab some offers, and you can go to CPA Network or go to hasoffers.com, something like that. So I just went to ClickBank, and here we have what I did was I actually went to men's health, so I went to the health section, just right over here, and I went and I selected, I believe I selected remedies, and I went and just clicked like the top 5 or 6, and well, not the lost remedies book, but diabetes, high blood pressure, back pain. Right, so here
As Wendy stood up from her chair.
Whoops, all right, Wendy, calm down. Right, so we've got the kidney one, we've got one for dizziness and vertigo, I've got one for the diabetes lie, I've got one for blood pressure, and this one's for back pain, and this one's for heartburn. Right, so basically what I'm going to do, and now you could do this in a sub niche sort of a way, which is you could have multiple products about just heartburn or multiple products about just high blood pressure, and kind of redirect people on to the most appropriate product, or a suite of products. You could do bundle of products, or 2 or 3 products that they should get for the maximum impact, or something of that sort. So in this case, I have not done that, but you can do that. What I'm going to be doing in this one is basically create a decision tree and redirect everybody to each specific offer. Don't have an affiliate link, so I'm just going to redirect them just to this home page, whatever these pages were that ClickBank shows you. And I don't know if that's I believe this is the actual lander where people land to get cookied, and then go ahead and, or this is kind of like the sales page where you'd send your leads or your visitors to. Right, so now I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this inside LeadsHook, and I'm going to pause the video and create the decision tree first and explain to you how I've done it, and then I'll go ahead and design it as well. All right, we'll talk to you in a bit. Now what I've decided to do is show you basically how I created from scratch. I'm going to be putting some time on the screen where you can skip if you don't want to see me actually making a decision tree, so you can just go through and grab the main essence of how this works inside Leads. Right, so add new. I'm going to create one from scratch, but you can pick a bunch of examples that we have, and we're adding them to the examples list all the time. I'm going to just make one from scratch. I'm going to call this my health affiliate offers, and save. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a, that's the start page. You can start your decision tree on a start page or not. It's up to you. You don't have to start on a start page, but I'm going to create one here because that's where I'm going to drive my traffic to. So I'm going to call this the ultimate health solution provider. Okay, not the best copy in the world. Once again, this is not a test of copy. It's a test of how to go about doing this inside LeadsHook and how you can do it. It's really pretty fast. So I'm going to add a bunch of stuff over here later, but for now I'm just going to go, what do we got here? Let's start. I'm going to change the button copy to make it something better, but for now let's just go with that. Add a bit of color at the back, and okay, that's looking not too good, so let's give it something darker, and I'm just going to increase the transparency. Alright, so that's done. You can also add image buttons. If you click image buttons, I can go ahead and select a button that's actually an image. I'm just going to go through with the normal HTML one. Save. Okay, that's done. What does that look like? Let's click the button. There you go. Not much there. Looks kind of ugly, but that's okay. We'll fix it up as we go in this video. For now, let's just continue with our questions. So I'm going to switch back between 2 browsers here because I just find it's easier to do that than to move tabs. So on Firefox, I've got my offers open, and this is about kidney. So I'm going to pause the video now where I go and I'm going to pick up a nugget or two about what this thing is about. It's not for factual accuracy, but just want to show you how to go about constructing one of these. And so I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Okay, so I finally decided how I'm going to do the market research for this one. Is basically just common symptoms of the disease. So I have the common symptoms of kidney disease, and I'm just going to grab the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to go through to LeadsHook and create my question, my first question. Drag and drop that, and I'm going to make it into a checkbox question and say which of the following conditions are you experiencing? Just make my notes right over here. So our second product. At this point, I still don't know how I'm going to use these little nuggets that I'm collecting, and that's essentially how a lot of these things start. Is that you just want to start, and the idea of what's going to come out at the end will form in your mind as you're creating. The process of creation ends up giving you the direction you should take, rather than having a very clear idea beforehand. I mean, sometimes you do, then that's great. But if you don't get hung up on it. Just continue with the research, keep working at it, and it'll come to you sooner or later. So I'm going to go through the next one. We had diabetes. Yeah, that's diabetes. And we have high blood pressure. Okay, so I'm going to go through the next one. Common symptoms of high blood pressure. And let's have let's do those 5. Go through over here, and I think there was. This was back pain. All right, so common symptoms of back pain. You know what? I'm going to get rid of the back pain one because it's a different kind of a condition. So I'm going to stick to heartburn here. I think we have enough there of heartburn, and we have got there you go. Those 5 will do. All right. So now we've got a bunch of conditions, which is 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5 to match 5 different affiliate offers that we want to promote to. I'm going to pause the video and have a think about it for about a minute or 2, or maybe 5, and I'll get back to you with what idea I'm going to pursue this line of this decision tree with for this affiliate marketing campaign. Hi everyone, I'm back. Okay, here's what I did. I had to think about it, and I decided to write down my symptoms, and then I summarized them to see if anything is common. So for example, you can see that vertigo has got nausea here, and it's got nausea here. I think kidney problems have vomiting, and so does vertigo. The other common one was headache, ended up being high blood pressure, and also vertigo. So you can see the commonalities of the conditions here. And as I was looking at the data here, I got the idea that a good way that I could proceed now is to come up with a point system where we can ask which of the following conditions are you suffering from, and based on the selections they make, we can add the points up for each of the conditions, and whoever gets the maximum points will redirect them through to an affiliate offer. Right, so that's what I'm going to do now inside LeadsHook. Okay, so it started out with with a pretty simple exercise, but it looks like this is going to be a good case study. And as I said when I started, that quite a few, I mean, oftentimes you just don't know what you're going to do, and the idea there is to just keep going, and something will emerge from the work that you're trying to do. So in my case, even when I wrote this down, I had no idea what I was going to do, and then I decided to create a table like this, sorted by summary, and just start playing around with this sort of putting X's everywhere. And I realized that having a points-based system is probably what's going to be the best solution going forward. But that only emerged after I did the research, right? And that's the thing that I often try and tell LeadsHook users is don't borrow some guru's system. Go into the market yourself, understand what they're looking for, and or what products are available, and from there just kind of play around with the ideas and just play around with what's in front of you, and things will emerge. And when they do, it's a solution that nobody else in the market has. As a result, your campaigns have a much higher probability of success because nobody else is doing it. Copying is a terrible business model, right? So as you can see, this is something I've never done before. I've never done this sort of affiliate campaign before, but it'd be something I'd be willing to test actually after this exercise. So I'm going to go now and just show you how I build this diagram inside LeadsHook. So what I'm going to basically do is we're going to I'm going to make it simple by only asking one question: which are the problems do you suffer from, or which are the problems you're experiencing? And based on what they tick, we'll be able to add points and then be able to redirect them to the condition that gets the highest number of points. All right, so that's the goal. I'll show you how to build that next. All right, talk to you in a few minutes. Inside LeadsHook, what I've done is I have, what I'll do is I'll remove this first actually. So what I've done is basically is I've, oops, let me just go through and delete this. Okay, so that's done. All right, so what I did was I just copied and pasted the unique values from Excel here, and so appetite decrease, appetite increase, breathing, chest pain, and going all the way down. So if I just have a look over here, I've got appetite decrease, increase, breathing, and if I go right to the bottom here, which was the last answer, was weight loss, which is this one here. It's so we've got 19 answers in this checkbox question. Right now, I wouldn't recommend this normally if you are going to do it. It's worth testing, but I would probably my idea here was, as I was doing this, was to split this up into, let's examine different parts of your body or different areas of your body, and you can say, let's talk about your appetite, and you can ask the appetite questions. You can ask about internal organ questions. You can ask about how you're feeling questions. You can ask about the physical symptoms question. So you could split the question up into 3 or 4 different categories. They're your questions. You make as many categories as you want, but I would probably split it up into 2 or 3 categories, so that way I don't have all 19 questions in the one place. So you can go ahead and split it as you want. I'm going to leave it in one for the purposes of this demonstration or this case study, because it's not about the efficacy or the use of the decision tree. It's not a real marketing campaign. I'm only using it as an example to show the various features and how you could end up using it for affiliate marketing. So if you're doing a real campaign, I'd suggest and advise that you do end up splitting this up, so the usability is much nicer. Okay, now let's go ahead and save that. Oops, sorry. Oh, duplicate text, all right. So I guess I entered that twice. Yes, I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. There you go. That's showing you another feature, which is deleting the I problem question. And I'm going to go ahead and just save that. Perfect. That's saved. Okay. Just going to move that down. Drag and drop. Let's just refresh that. Let's start. And there you go. Which of the following conditions are you experiencing? And I can click as whatever I want. Now this is alphabetically listed, so it doesn't, and so you're probably going to get, if someone's, if you're going to collect bad data, because what's normally is going to happen in this case, someone's just going to go that and move on to the next question. So we want to prevent that, or we want to distribute errors across all of our answers so we don't skew our data. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this, go back into the node, and go randomize answers. And go save. Now they won't be able to trick us. Okay, all right. So there you go. So I'm just going to refresh that again, and you can see that the answers are distributing themselves all over the place. Now, to give it a slightly better look as we're moving towards seeing what it's going to look like, I'm just going to go into appearance and just go pick the basic theme. I like the basic theme. It's nice and simple and creates kind of cool looking buttons. So there you go. It's pretty cool. It kind of looks nice. Right, so we have randomizing, and it turns into nice pretty colors with the green button. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next part. Of course, in your campaign or the real campaign, you're going to have this split up into a number of different questions. But for now, I'm going to work with that. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to go ahead and build the next part of the decision tree, which is showing you how to do the points bit, and then redirect the offers into the various to the 5 offers that we saw from ClickBank. All right, talk to you in a bit. All right, I had to think about it for a bit about how I'm going to do that. So this is very much on the fly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into answer custom fields, and I'm going to add my custom fields for my diseases. So let's have a look at what my diseases were again. So we're going to have kidney, and I'm just going to have kidney being a custom field. I'm going to call it K and kidney. Oops. Leave it as text. No, we're doing points, so I won't be leaving it as text. I'll leave it as a number. Default is going to be 0, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. And then I'm going to clone it, and I'm going to call this diabetes. Clone. And then I'm going to clone it, and I'm going to call this high blood pressure. So I'm just going to call it high underscore BP. Clone. And the next one is vertigo, so clone and go vertigo. Right, so it's pretty easy to create custom fields. And let me clone it one more time, and that's going to be for heartburn. Heartburn and clone. Right, so I've cloned it. Now it says the name says kidney, so I'm just going to quickly go ahead and just do basically copy and paste, save. We should probably get that fixed actually. Control C. Okay, I'm going to pause this so you don't watch me creating custom fields, and I'll show you the next section soon. Custom fields are done, so let's go back to our decision tree. Affiliate offers. I'm going to go in over here, and now I'm going to show you how to add the points. So let's just go ahead and edit, and we need this our trusty diagram here, and I'm going to go do that. Basically, we're going to build a grid. So answer custom fields, select custom fields, and I'm going to pick my diseases: diabetes, heartburn. What I should do is probably go filter, and I should have put another indicator, but anyway, that's okay. Go ahead and so I'm just selecting the custom fields that I want to use, and I'm going to go ahead and I made a mistake. I should have put in like D underscore, so that way I can just do a quick search on D underscore. But anyway, okay, so we've got our conditions over here and where the points will go. Right, so now it's a matter of just building up the points. Right, so we're going to go through appetite and that's going to go for. So this is this is the column I'm doing, which is actually, well, that's the that's the column now. But for appetite decrease, it's only going to be kidney. So appetite decrease, kidney, and I'm going to add 1 over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the next one, which is appetite decrease, increase, sorry, and that's going to be for diabetes. So appetite increase is going to be diabetes 1. Okay, so I'm not going to have you watch me fill out this table, but essentially that's all I'm doing, and LeadsHook will sum up the numbers inside this. So just bear with me while I quickly fill this table out, and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so I've gone and filled out all the fields for all 19 questions. I had forgotten the fatigue one, so I just added it in, and there you go. There's our points, and they match up to that table there. Right, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now let's test it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just put a blank question page. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that so we can make sure that it's working properly. I'm just going to go to information. And all information node is one that doesn't have anything in it. It's just a basic text editor node basically. But I'm going to show you how we add our fields. So I'll be like just display our fields, the values of our fields. Right now, sorry, before I do that, I'm just going to save this and I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing here. I forgot something. Okay, go right to the bottom, answer custom fields. Okay, so LeadsHook has a special capability called the Sum Plus capability. It's unique to LeadsHook. And as you can see here, you'll be like, well, I've just added all these points here. How is this going to add up all these numbers? And the way that LeadsHook works, it recognizes that you've got a number field here, and you're trying to add up these numbers. It'll automatically go through and just add them up wherever it sees a 1 for the answer that you select. So if I go through and I pick appetite 1 and I pick dry mouth, it'll add the two of them up into the custom field called diabetes. Okay, that's a unique feature inside LeadsHook, and that's why I'm not having to create thousands of fields. Or I don't know how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 19, almost 100 fields to cater for this, and then add up a calculation field to add them all up. LeadsHook takes care of all that stuff behind the scenes by offering a very special way of so you don't have to go ahead and do all that extra work, because this is not the first time I've done something like this. And we've added this inside LeadsHook, so that way all you do is you focus on the data capture, and all that mathematical mumbo jumbo is taken care of by LeadsHook. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to save that. So sometimes you'll see it's slow. It's not because the system is slow. It's just because I've got so many fields. It's saving it from the browser back to the server, but the final result will be pretty fast. All right, so display our fields, and I'm going through and go display, and now I'm just going to scroll across to the fields that I created, and I'm just going to put my cursor into the text editor here and go click each one of them twice. I'll explain that in a second, because one of them is my title and the other one is actually my my custom field. Otherwise I won't be able to tell what my kidney score is if I don't add that in. Okay, so it's just if you do enough of these, you will pick up these little tips to speed up your work. Okay, and I'll go through and get rid of that and go here. So now what LeadsHook is going to do is going to display the values for these. Okay, so I'm going to go there, make that a little bit bigger, and let's just center it. Okay, save. All right, moment of truth. Let's refresh that. Start. And what I want to do is I want to see what the points are going to be like if I pick appetite decrease. Then my kidney should have 1 point, and there should be no other points anywhere else. So if that's correct, then we know that we've done everything correctly. So it's appetite decrease, appetite, that's increase, decrease right there. There you go, 1 point. So it works. All right, now I'm going to do one more test. Refresh that and go through, and I'm going to pick I'm going to go ahead and pick appetite. You know what, let's do it this way. I'm going to go appetite decrease, and I'm going to pick one more from the kidney section, which is fatigue, and I'm going to pick fatigue. But you can see if I pick fatigue, it's also going to add a point to hyperpressure. Okay, so it's going to add points to 2 places. Let's have a look. There you go, 2 for kidney, 1 for hyperpressure. Right, so the whole thing works, is working beautifully well. All right, so now we know that our calculations are correct. Let's do the offer bit. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. I'm going to pause the video again. Now to do the next bit, we're going to use what we have here called the decision node, and I'll show you what that is. So once again, just drag and drop. This is going to be the offer redirects paths. Okay, bit of a mouthful there. So let's just save. And what I'm going to do is we'll remove this at the end. Well, I'm just going to leave that over here for now so we can see. Here, LeadsHook allows you to create add conditional logic or logic inside your decision tree and do anything you want with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go custom field. So let's call this diabetes. Now before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why I'm show you this is let's see where the biggest payouts are. Well, I'm not going to do that now, but I'm just going to assume that kidneys have the highest payouts, and then comes vertigo, and then comes diabetes, and then lastly blood pressure, and then heartburn. All right, so that's the order in which we are getting our payouts. So if any 2 categories end up with the same points, it's going to be difficult for that to happen because as you can see here, there's such a wide distribution of answers. There is a chance that that you may find that kidney and diabetes both have 3 points. If that's the case, then where do you go? Well, where do you go is who's going to give you the most amount of money, right? Or at least that's my criteria for the purpose of this case study. But you can pick any criteria you want, right? So I'm just going to kind of putting that out there, so that way when you see me design this, I'll be talking about that. Right. So custom field, and I think our first one was kidney. So I'm going to go. All right, kidney is greater than. So let me think about this for a second. I'm going to pause the video and get back to you. Okay, so I've completed the decision tree and everything's working really well. And I don't want you to freak out when you see this. It's quite simple. Okay, so I'll explain that in a second. So just want to reiterate what we've got, because we've got a kidney which is giving our highest payout, and vertigo is giving the second highest payout, diabetes giving the third highest payout, fourth is what was this one again? This was
that one single organ is responsible for almost all
hyperpressure. Yes, hyperpressure. This one, and the was heartburn. I went back into ClickBank, and I thought I'll pick one more offer. So I just went to New Age, and my good friend numerologist, I'm just going to put his site there. So the story basically is that they've been placed in the order. So kidney paying the highest, vertigo next, diabetes thereafter, hyperpressure, and then lastly heartburn. So if I had 3 or 4 of the questions being above 4, then I want kidney to get the redirect, not vertigo, because kidney is paying me a higher number. So that's that node is doing. Okay, so we're basically going here and saying, okay, right, kidney is greater than 4. If it is, then that's the path created, otherwise 3. But it works in the order of priority, so this goes down. So if it notices that kidney is greater than 4, it won't check for the others. Okay, so it'll just check for kidney and it'll redirect. If kidney fails, so let's say the kidney score is 2, then it'll go and check and see if vertigo is greater than 4. If it is, it'll basically create the path here. So what's happening is coming down here is checking to say, is kidney greater than 4? Yes, I'm going to go to the kidney offer. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next one. It's going to go, is vertigo greater than 4? Yes, then it'll go to this one, and then it'll keep testing. And then when it gets to the bottom here, it says, well, hang on a second, none of them. So then I'm going to go move to the next one, which is no conditions, which basically means move on to the next node. So this one here tests for 3, and then 2, and then 1. Probably didn't need that one, but I'll just add this for the purpose of this case study to show you that you can kind of keep moving it. And lastly, if they all fail, then you just get to go and see the neurologist and might as well go get a reading done. Okay, so that's basically how the whole thing works. Now, if you were to do this programmatically, you're looking at a couple of weeks of work and a fair chunk of change. And there's the other issue you're going to have is if you ever go to make a change to a hard-coded version of this, it'll cost you a fortune. So I did this in basically 32 minutes. I'm going now. So in 32 minutes, yeah, a little bit of extra time for thinking and stuff to how I'm going to structure this, because I had no plan when I started this, but it hasn't been hours on hours. And so in less than about, well, I guess in about half an hour, 40 minutes, you've got yourself a pretty slick looking affiliate offer system. Yeah, I'd improve this. Definitely will get rid of that. But I'm just going to run through now and show you what it looks like. So let's go. I'm going to restart this. Now I'm going to show you that it works because we're going to go through the kidney offer. And I'm gonna tick all of the kidney choices here. So I'm gonna go loss, appetite, decrease, which is that one. And the next one we want to pick is fatigue, which is okay. That's what I'm gonna do. Randomize. You can't find your own stuff. All right, nausea. So let's go and pick that, which is down here. Then comes sleep, which is here, and comes vomit, which is right there. Now what I want to show you is we're going to see our scores first, right? Because obviously we're going to remove this when we finally have our live campaign. But for now, I'm going to leave this here so you can see what the scores are. And that's correct because if you picked, so for example, things like that one there, if I pick nausea, it's also going to give a vertigo a point. And vertigo's got 2 points here, so there must be one other choice where vertigo. There you go, vomit. Because when I pick vomit, vertigo also gets a point. That's why vertigo's got 2, high blood pressure's got 1, and kidney's got 5. So now if I click this, it'll redirect to the kidney offer. Cool. So that's to show you that it works. Now, how have the offers been set up? It's basically what I did for the offer was I dragged the results page node. This is the node on which we end up doing dynamic content if you are going to be using dynamic content. But in this case, it's got a few other features in it. So I'll show you what that is. I'll just drag and drop that. One for each offer. That's my offer, and I just click redirect. Really, there's nothing else there. It's blank, except I've just got a redirect URL sitting there, which is the healkidneydisease.com, and an immediate redirect. So as soon as it goes over here, it'll just move to the URL. And of course, in my case, I'm just sending it to the main page here. Sorry, to the main page, this page. In reality, you'd go and you put on your ClickBank or affiliate program URL so that you can start getting commissions. Right, so that in a nutshell covers the video on how I set up this particular decision tree, and you can see the logic being used here to redirect offers wherever you want. So a pretty slick looking system. Now, of course, in this case, I am doing a very generic one where I'm saying the ultimate health solution provider, or finder probably is a better word for it. But in if you were in a market where, let's say, you're doing just a bunch of skincare offers, you could really ask a whole bunch of questions and then drive people to the product that best matched the problems they were having, therefore increasing your probability of success. But the whole thing would be dynamic because you're just setting up your conditions, and then LeadsHook takes care of how the redirection will take place. So that's another application of that. If you're vertical specific with your affiliate marketing business. Okay, now we're going to make the decision tree pretty, or make it look a little bit nicer. At the moment, it looks something like this. So really, it doesn't have. Probably should just put an image up here, and I'm not going to do too much to this. Maybe I'll change the button color here. Right. So what I'm going to do now is show you how I do that. So first thing, let's just embed this. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to go over to WordPress. On WordPress, I've just using Divi Builder here. Go ahead and put a single module across a row. Where's the code? Right here. I'm just going to copy and paste that, and I really don't have to do much else to this. Okay, save, update, and at the moment that page looks like this. All I've got is just a background image that I've put onto just a normal looking WordPress page, and the decision tree will be embedded right over here. So I'm just gonna, because I've saved it, now if I refresh this, it'll show up with, hopefully it is the same one. Yep. No. So there you go, that's what it looks like. And go through and the decision tree. Right, so if you notice, the top navigation bar and the bottom navigation bar, the top navigation bar and the bottom footer is still coming from the underlying page. That image is also coming from the underlying page, and all LeadsHook is doing is just putting this bit in the middle. Now, if you want to go ahead and see a more detailed video on how to go about doing the design options, because you don't have to put the background image on the website, you can also put the background image inside LeadsHook and then display that on your website fully as well. So we give lots of options so that because we want to cater for all sorts of markets, all sorts of scenarios, and it's really difficult to only give you one way of doing something. And so there's a few ways of doing it. And what I've done is I've added a playlist. That's the case study playlist. It's the design your decision tree playlist, and I'll add a link to this video somewhere, and you'll be able to click and go through and see from video 1 through to 8 about very detailed steps. They're not very big videos on how to go about doing lots of design changes. Right, so for now we'll just stick to this. A few changes are still required, as you can tell. So I think what we should do is put a header image at the top. I uploaded an image earlier on, which I'm just going to add right over here, which is this image here. Did a pretty horrible job of it. I just grabbed an image of Shutterstock. I'd get it professionally done, where you can actually use something like photoscissors.com to quickly kind of take the background out. So I've done that with this doctor-looking model, and I've added the picture here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to select that, and there you go. That's the picture right there. And if I just refresh that, you'll see that there she is. And if I refresh this page, it'll show up there as well. Right, because once you've embedded, you don't have to change the embed anymore. Any changes we make will start coming through. So that's done. Maybe we need to lighten this up a bit. So let's go ahead and do that, which I'm going to do the transparency appearance. So in the appearance section, we've got lots of design options to do for everything from changing from color, the progress bar, all sorts of stuff. So once again, the videos are in the playlist for changing the look and feel of a decision tree. So for now, I'm just going to go to the container and kind of move the transparency to about 50%, and let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, so that added a little bit of back change. I think that's not the one I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and make another quick change. And this time it's going to be for the... I always get confused between the body and container. Body is the outer edge. So what I need to do is reduce that and go to container and just make it fully transparent. And I think that should do the trick. Let me just quickly do a refresh here. Yep, and you can see more of the background color coming through, not looking so white anymore. And we just need to probably change a few of the button colors here. So let's go ahead and do that. Once again, go back to appearance. The button, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the next button, maybe make it a little bit, yeah, I think that should do. The answer buttons at the moment they're white looking, so what I'll do is I'll probably give them a color. Let's make them kind of, there you go. Okay. Once again, it's not a video on how to make things look overly pretty, but just want to give you a bit of an outline of how easy it is to make a few of these changes. Let me just go ahead and refresh this. And there you go. Perfect. All right. I think that's reasonably good looking. I'm just going to do a quick refresh here and see if I'm happy with the final version. And, okay. I think yeah, I'll leave it at this. Yeah, I can make the button bigger and all this sort of stuff, but just for the purpose of this, the design looks reasonably okay. Maybe I'll lighten this up a little bit more. So let's do that. So really, it's not that difficult. Any of these changes, a little bit of trial and error to get it right. Let's move that out to 22. Give it a quick refresh. And that's it. Yeah, that's looking reasonably okay. Right, so there you go. It's well within the theme of an organic or a herbal or a natural solution, a health solution to this affiliate offer. Normally, I'd also put a little bit of CSS to remove this gap here, but that's totally doable. And just to show you, in this case, I'm going to transfer through to the kidney offer. And that's it. Oh, I won't actually, because I had one. Let's try that again. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a couple of choices. So I'll go to the kidney now, because with one, the decision tree actually goes, it's not greater than one. So greater than one will definitely go to the neurologist. So that's correct. Now I'll go to kidney. And it does right there. Cool. So I hope that gives you a brief overview about how to go about setting a fairly complex decision tree with lots of pathways. You can be quite creative as to how you want to do it. To do something like this with a programmer, you know, it's a few weeks of your life, especially if you're going to make changes, and it will be quite costly. So the real value of LeadsHook is not so much the quiz aspect of it, which I think you're well aware that many other apps will do that. It's the post data capture, it's the pathway building, the decision tree aspect of LeadsHook, and then the dynamic content generation and the using of the decision nodes to create paths based on different conditions is probably the more powerful aspect of LeadsHook. So I hope that gives you a brief overview of how to go about doing affiliate marketing with LeadsHook, and that completes this training. And I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you inside LeadsHook. Thank you, and bye for now.